Hello, this is Dr. Esa again. Let's continue with Greek. Today we will look at the personal pronoun autos. As a way of review and reminder about case, number, and person of the pronoun. So number is determined by antecedent, and so is person, and the case is determined by the pronoun's function in the sentence. We had these examples before. I am speaking to John and teaching him. So the pronoun him needs to correspond to John in number and person. And then obviously it needs to be an objective case because the direct object of the verb teach. And the same applies to the example, I have a sister and I like her. So next we're going to look at the third person personal pronoun, and as you can see here, the third person comes even in English in masculine, feminine, and neuter forms. He, she, and it, and obviously possessive case, he's, her, and its. An objective case, him, her, and it. So the third person singular is straightforward in English and we all know it. Same applies to the third person, and obviously in English the third person have only one gender: they, their, and them. In Greek we have the autos, he, which is the nominative singular form of the personal third person personal pronoun. Then looking at she, aute, notice the feminine ending there, and auto is the neuter form, it. Now for each of these third person singular personal pronouns, you notice that we need to form also genitive, dative, and accusative case forms. So he becomes his, autou, dative auto, to him, for him, or in him, and accusative is auton, which is him. So again, you can see that the endings of the word autos follows are identical to if you had the word logos, logu, logo, logon. So autos, autou, auto, auton. And the same also applies to the plural forms. Obviously you have to pay attention that autoi now is a third person plural, so it is they, even though it kind of is similar to autos, but autos in plural form is they. And genitive plural, auton, their, autois is to, in, or for them, and autous is them, accusative plural. Now the same pattern continues with the feminine. So aute is she, autes her, aute dative is to, in, or for her, and auten is her. And now again, notice that autai is the third person plural form in feminine, they, auton, their, autais, to them, for them, or in them, and autas is them. Obviously in English we don't know whether they includes men or women or masculine or feminine, but obviously they in Greek or autai would indicate that the plurality they includes only women, or obviously contains or is a word that is feminine plural, and same applies to all the feminine forms of the word. Similarly, auto is obviously it, but it is obviously the neuter form of the word autos. And autou is its, auto is to it or for it or in it, and auto is it. And always keeping in mind that the neuter nominative singular and neuter accusative singular are identical. Now looking at the plural forms, auta is they, auton their, autois to, for, or in them, and auta is them. And again, keeping in mind that nominative plural and accusative plural are identical. And again, auta, or all of these plural forms, would indicate that the antecedent or the word is in neuter form. So let's take some examples. First example, let's read the Greek. Blepo ton matheten kai didasko auton. So hopefully you have already learned some of the vocabulary here. So we translate blepo I see, ton matheten, the disciple, kai, and didasko, I teach, auton, him. Right? I see the disciple and I teach him. So now you can see the underlined words here, which indicate to us that the antecedent is in masculine, accusative, plural, obviously direct object of the verb blepo, and therefore the pronoun that it is connected to is also in masculine, singular, and because it's the object, direct object of the verb didasko, it is also in the accusative case. So therefore they are connected, and we say that a pronoun agrees with its antecedent in gender and number. Okay, let's take another example, which is slightly more complicated. Let's read the sentence. Ginosko ten ecclesian kai meno en aute. So I know the church and I remain in it. So if we break down this sentence, obviously we can look at the fact that ginosko means I know. Then ecclesian is feminine accusative singular from the word he ecclesia, I know the church. And kai means and. Meno means I remain. And en means in. And aute means it or her. So let's see how we break this down. So the antecedent to the pronoun aute is ecclesia. And remember, the ecclesia is feminine, he ecclesia. So therefore also the pronoun must be in feminine. And so the antecedent and the pronoun are connected to each other in person and in gender. Now, the important thing to notice here is that the pronoun is preceded by preposition en, which is always followed by dative case. So a pronoun agrees with its antecedent in gender. Both aute and ecclesia are in feminine. And they agree in number. Both are singular, but the case varies according to the usage in the sentence. So because it is aute is preceded by en, so aute is also therefore in dative case. So there we have the breakdown of that sentence. So let's look at the use of the nominative case personal pronouns. So personal pronouns are not used as subjects of verbs in Greek except for emphasis. Taking an example, so Lego kai graphes. Lego means I speak. Obviously, kai means and graphes means you write. So notice there's no personal pronoun here to indicate I because it's embedded in the personal ending of the verb. Similarly, there's no personal pronoun here in front of the verb because it is embedded in the personal ending of the verb. Now we could write ego lego I write kai sy graphes, including the personal pronouns. However, the translation would be the same with the difference that this would be highly emphatic. It could almost be translated, it is I who speaks and it is you who write, or I speak but you write. So, but in the common usage in Greek, you would not use the personal pronouns in front of the verbs unless there was some specific reason to emphasize that. Now we also have a somewhat more unusual way of using autos, or the word autos, the third person singular personal pronoun, when it is in the nominative case. The word autos can also be used as if it was an adjective. So when the word autos is in attributive position, it is translated as same. So something completely different from the usual meaning he. Let's take an example. So here you can see ho autos apostolos, right? Or it can be ho apostolos ho autos. So this looks identical to the usage of the attributive adjective. In other words, we have a noun, the main noun, that is either followed or preceded by the word autos. And notice again the placing of the article in front of autos. So if we have the sentence ho autos apostolos, obviously it does not mean the he apostle or the apostle the he. So we have to translate it with the word same. In other words, both of these sentences mean the same apostle. So ho autos apostolos, so it describes or gives this kind of adjectival a way of understanding apostolos, and using the word autos, it would mean autos apostolos would mean the same apostle. Another usage is the predicate position of autos. So then we translate autos as self. So here you can see that we still have the word autos. However, we have ho apostolos. Right now we don't have the article in front of autos. In other words, it is considered as in the predicate position. And the same applies here, even though the word order is different. So this we would translate the apostle himself. The apostle himself. Now this may look a little bit awkward and strange, so you have to pay close attention to the context and also look at it whether the autos is used in attributive position or in predicate position. And obviously in both of these situations, the word autos, which usually is he, does not have that translation here. We have one more intensive use of autos. You can see the sentence here, autos ego lego, or autos sy lego. So again, if you look at this word autos, it is connected to the sentence ego lego or sy leges. So in this situation, it is the intensive use of autos. I myself say. Obviously, this means I say, and the autos in front of ego gives it intensive formulation or usage. So we would translate in English, I myself say. And notice here, autos combined with sy leges, you yourself say. So then we have also here the most important usage of the personal pronoun autos, which obviously is to express possession. And here, especially in the genitive case, let's read the sentence, ho logos auton. The word, and then auton in plural genitive, literally the word of theirs, and then obviously we translate it as their word. And then second example, ho logos autes, the word, and then autos in feminine singular genitive, so the word of her, hers, which obviously means her word. So this would be the more common usage of the third person pronoun autos. And finally, just to note, to practice workbook page 45, there's the warm-up and parsing, which I highly recommend that you will complete. And then homework page 47, translation sentences 8, 9, and 10.